to ensure the equality and fairness of our games, MPL Philippines is also monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusements Board.
Lakas ng Pinas!
Nice, nice. No. Nice, boys. Hey, mabubuhay ka rin. Tapos na. Tapos na. Tulat, bro. Uwi tayo. Kaya makakawin ako. Tapos na akin. Para.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the English Desk. I am Naisu, joined here with Ingan. And you just heard the comm check from our last match. It was the star match of this week between FCAP and Fnatic Onic Philippines. And hey, they maintained the streak in a reverse sweep against FCAP.
It did not disappoint. I mean, this was technically your biggest foe, your biggest threat to your streak, but they were able to turn things around and keep it alive.
I'm going to ask you real quick, what was your favorite part, or standout player, let's say that, standout player in that series for what we just witnessed?
For me, it was really King Kong.
King Kong?
He kept Fnatic Onic afloat despite the efforts of Super Makmak. Didn't even die the whole game despite their loss.
Well, you can see it right there. Fnatic Onic Philippines breaks their franchise's best start with a 7-0 run. So, as we mentioned, you know, when we closed out that series, man, they perfect run for the first half of the regular season, and we'll see if they can continue that on for the second half, of course, because what a strong start. And I hope that the main thing is I hope they can continue on after, you know, regular season, take that into the playoffs, and hope, well, I guess we got to start with number one. They got to take it to the second half of the season. But looking at the standings because of what just happened, they're still going to be sitting nice and pretty at the top. Fnatic Onic, they're 7-0, 7 points for those match points that they have, and a massive record. And, you know, Falcons AP.Bren still tied there with Aurora MLBB. And, of course, you go down the list here.
I could just imagine, I mean, once we approach the playoffs, like, who's going to be the top four? Who's going to be the remaining four? Because a lot of teams are contending. And a lot, actually, from the community have been saying that this might be the closest records we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, at the beginning of the season, that was the question. I think a lot of people wondered is this new point system, like how would it work in this setup? And I think it's not only because all the teams are very competitive, but also the fact that this new point system keeps things very competitive and very close, because in a matter of a weekend, things can change. So we'll see if things can change for you guys, because are you feeling bored with the usual ranked matches? Since you could spice things up with the Snapdragon Pro Series at Mobile Legends Bang Bang Season 6, as they're already in Season 6.
Yeah, and it's time to step up your game and face off against the best of the best. Sign-ups open for all qualifiers. Just head on to esl.gg/SBS MLBB.
Love that. Again, can't believe another season is about to start for SBS. And it's always interesting to watch because you also get to see some new names, new faces show up in SPS. And, of course, it leads us into the big tournaments ahead of us. So don't forget to join. But to break down the game a little bit further ahead of us, let's throw it over to our panelists, Leo and Rockhart, to talk about the matchup.
All right, we got a bit of a banger matchup here as well, just like the previous match. This is going to be one for the books. This is TLPH versus Smart Omega. And again, I think reading through the comments of the previous game, people are really torn between the two results that we saw earlier. Like you mentioned, it felt like a 1 in 14 million chance, but they still pushed through. So big congratulations to FNOP for that one. And for FCAP, still very much of an opponent worthy to be respected.
You can't take it away that Falcons AP.Bren are still one of the two titans of MLBB, and the other is in action right here, facing off against ang bagong barangay in Smart Omega.
That's right.
And both teams, they want to end the first half of Season 14 with a bang-bang.
With a bang-bang!
And
Not just a bang,
that
a
basically
bang-bang.
just means they want all the momentum that they could get with, the point that they can walk away with going in the second half. Because, sure, for majority of our teams, they're safe. Because given the 1 point per series win, it's easier for you to climb up through. But also, every point matters. When 1 point is all you get, all the more you want to get those points. So, with that said, it's as close as it gets. The Barangay versus the Cavalry. Look at those numbers, Rocker. Look at how tight those numbers are. Save for turret damage and Lord Control.
That's right. And this is the stats of the reigning MPL Philippines champion. Never
right.
forget that. And of course, this is Barangay Omega, who has exceeded expectations. Of course, I think more specifically for Ukir and Sanji, it is going to be a very interesting one, just because of the way that the meta is playing out so far.
For sure, acting as secondary shot callers and captains for their squads respectively. It matters so much what they're able to do on the map, and with Sanji, the mid lane genius, going up against Ukir, who I'd like to think is the savior of Bagong Barangay coming in the twilight of Season 13. He was first to help them maybe go for a Hail Mary play, make it to the playoffs, and then followed by Chaknu. I think these two gentlemen, specifically, are who are responsible for this new era of Barangay Omega.
And you have to look at the stats as well. Neck and neck as well, with average assists and kill participation, making sure their presence is known in the team fights in the Land of Dawn. Even the first blood counts are matching up. This is like two sides of a coin.
For sure. Again, do note how much higher Ukir's KDA is. I think you could chalk that up to his unique pick, the Lilia, which he broke out last night. It's a hero that is just so elusive, a hero that is so good at controlling range, controlling the amount of damage you get over time, compared to Sanji's one-and-done diversion off of the Lu Yi, who, by the way, is just perfect for Liquid Philippines' MO. They just want to shock you into submission. Just,
That's right.
pow, we're here, we're done.
At least it fits with the playstyle, right? The playstyle that you want Team Liquid, or what they're known for, which is going around the map and making unexpected stuff happen, blowing up bases out of nowhere.
It's the Lone Stallion who won off of a singular Valentina push in Season 13. If you remember, like that's what happened literally about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, it feels like ages ago. Honestly, it feels like a different world back then, right? Where it was tanks were still reigning supreme on the jungle.
Jungler,
The utility junglers are reigning supreme, as well as obviously the mid lane. I guess getting added a few more heroes or revamps. Like the Aurora wasn't shown there, right?
No,
it wasn't a thing. So, man, what a different battlefield we have today. But right now, we still want to think who you think is it come out on top here. Is it Omega, OMG, or TLPH? Sound off in the comments and vote by the online poll.
Already as it is, I owe the world 30 push-ups. It's down to this last matchup wherein the forecast states Liquid wins. That's what I said. That's what my forecast said. That's what my prediction said. And that was
on paper.
On paper, on video. That was about a week ago when I shot that video. But now, I'll tell you, Rockhart, I think I might be adding push-ups.
Well, with the way that Omega performed yesterday.
Last night.
Oh my goodness me. Why not? Exactly, not the coach. Why not?
Yeah, with the potential of a jungle switch-up for Liquid. Not to say that I don't trust Zyda, but Carl hits diff, man. Carl is literally the young GOAT.
I guess there's just some kind of unseen X factor that you get in a team. It's like the team gets buffed up whenever Carl TZ does play on the field. And that's the reason why a lot of other junglers actually have to work double, because they have to make up for that as well, like that X factor.
Mentally keep up with what Carl is capable of.
Exactly, what he gives to the team.
The amount of heart that he gives to this game for 5 or 6 years now and counting.
That's right. In case you guys don't know, right? I mean, obviously, Zyda probably, again, just like the situation where we see players like Nibber come in, does have some pretty big shoes to fill right now on the roster. But yeah, that's going to be the case apparently, right?
Titan-sized shoes.
Titan-sized shoes. I don't even know they make those new ones for...
They don't.
They probably don't.
Carl TZ is literally an anomaly in the Matrix.
He really is.
A genetic freak.
And again, does it mean that Team Liquid's going to get nerfed? I don't think so, honestly. I feel like Zyda is definitely... a lot of people who know and watch the other leagues as well know what Zyda's capable of.
He's an MDL champion, mind you.
Just so you know.
That's something Carl doesn't have.
Oh, that's a good point.
Literally.
That's a good point. So, yeah, if you guys know, you know. And right now, again, we want to know what your opinion is, right? Let us know in the comments. We'll read that a little bit later on. But for now, again, I'm very excited to see whether or not Omega does have the trick. And obviously, they do. They look like they do. But again, you're going against the current champions. And just like earlier, it was the world champions who fell. What's it going to look like today in this matchup?
Is today a bad day to be a Titan?
Maybe it's a bad episode.
Is the weight of that title going to bear heavy on these squads? We're about to find out.
We're going to find out as we do see the teams walk up on the stage into the battlefield right here, right now.
Let's welcome our marshals, Jeff, JJ, Pat, and Chico! First up on stage, riding their momentum of last night's win, ang bagong barangay is ready for battle. Ukir, Chaknu, Chom, Ryota, and Andoryu. It's Smart Omega! And their opponents, galloping their way on stage, hungry for a win. Here comes the cavalry. It's JP, Sanji, Zaida, Sanford, and Buddy Cutie. They are Team Liquid Philippines. And their coaches, Smart Omega's Coach Lembot. And Team Liquid Philippines, Coach CJ.
It's time for the face-off. Sanji, Ukir, step forward. Step closer together. Ukir, ano ang palag mo kay Sanji?
Mas malupit ang hairstyle ko.
Sanji, ano ang palag mo kay Ukir?
Mas malupit ang Korean haircut ko.
Palag kong palag, fist bump. It's into battle. Panel, pasok.
We are heading into the fight, and it is Smart Omega roaring with Ukir's beautiful, flawless hairstyle.
I mean,
He's very happy to
he
fall.
is right. He's not wrong at that. Look at those long locks. And look at how long he can engage from. Again, I'm expecting that Lilia and that Vix, that Aurora, more specifically, to come into play here in this best of three. Those are things that Coach CJ might definitely have to consider.
Yeah.
Stealing away, putting in the hands of Sanji.
That's true. Again, Sanji has been shown to be capable of wielding such a hero. And again, it is not going to be surprising to see Zaida.
What?
It is his, I guess, his debut. for
Season debut!
14. That's season 14 debut in week number 4.
Confirmed.
Woo!
That is MDL Philippines Season 2, regular season, and finals MVP for you.
There you go. And the stats, we'll see how they fare up against each other. First blood ratio definitely favoring the current champions right now. But Omega, they're trailing closely and even leading in terms of tower take percentage.
Yeah, Team Liquid Philippines, despite being short about 15% on First Bloods, they're better at controlling the Lord. So, best believe, hit the 8.5, 9-minute mark if Omega's not ready. Because again, they're a very late game-centric squad. If Team Liquid PH control that Lord pit, then Zyra's going to hit that retry.
Yeah, despite their advantages, we'll have to wait and see who gets the keys to victory here. Brought to you by Infinix. Apparently for Omega, you know what? Keep them cheese picks coming, boys. Everyone loves it. Everyone's enjoying it. And they've proven they can play with it as well.
Talking about cheese picks, watch out for the Gatot Mamba brought in by the Chak. And if you're talking about what Liquid has to do, look back at the play style that they developed. Not just because one player changed from the 5 means you have to change entirely. I think a Zyda manned Liquid should perform very closely to what a Carl manned Liquid performs. It's just maybe they'll change their trades.
That's
Not
right.
just in the game, but also in the draft.
And again, late game decision making for both of these teams. Definitely Omega has that in spades. But you know what? In fairness to Omega, their early game has also been proving to be very good lately. Not just relying like on really Hail Marys, right?
sure.
A big change for the new Barangay. And that's probably why they're called the new Barangay right now. They have really developed and matured into a team.
And I think what's scarier is, yeah, they're no longer just reliant on the comeback factor, but also they have a new weapon. That whole mid-game swing, wherein they take control, they can end the game at about 13-14, and it's over. Doesn't spell a good chance for Team Liquid, especially now that they're changing junglers.
That's right. So I wonder if that's going to catch them by surprise. But you know what, Omega, maybe they can do that with a surprise first pick. They are picking up the blue side.
This is tough, especially since cheese is the name of the game for Smart Omega. All the more they can set up those cheese picks, especially if you're going with a 2-pick swing. Not just the first pick, Gambit, but the 2-pick swing after the banning phase, the second banning phase. This is tough. I'm liking it. I'm here for it.
This could be tough, but again, it's going to be a challenge that you have to face if you are facing the the Philippines champions, which is TLPH.
Former world champions too.
Former world champions, right? They're M4, no doubt about it.
Here we
Sans Carlton.
go. Hey, Zyda was there too.
Oh, Zyda was there too,
Zyda
right?
was
He
on
was
ground.
on the lineup, right?
Zyda was there too, so best believe Coach Saire and Coach CJ have a lot to think about. Speaking of which, Coach Saire had some time with Omega too.
Oh, that is true.
He's from the system. He's from the family, so he would know what's up. And check out this ungodly win rate from Smart Omega, 71% compared to 20 on Liquid's Red. This is tough.
So all in all, the numbers are showing that it feels like TLPH is at a bit of a disadvantage in game.
The numbers and the facts.
The numbers and the facts, right?
Oh no, there's a Nolan the Fanny. This is for those of you who don't know, Zyda is an assassin specialist. So all of these, the Nolan and the Fanny taken out early. This is Lembot attacking the former MDL champion. And as well, Coach CJ taking out the Chip and the Hylos. There goes the Phobius. What's left out there? The Edith open?
Yeah, probably the Edith.
The Zosk.
The Ling.
The Ling, the Zosk.
Yeah, I think they might have some fun with that. Zosk, definitely a very powerful first pick here.
The Edith.
There's the Edith. Now you'll have to wonder, TLPH is still going to come up with assassin junglers here, or will they have something else in store for us? New player, maybe new surprises.
Yep, still has a Ling and a Haya out there. If the first phase elapses without the Ling or the Haya picked up, best believe we're going to start going to the B tier of junglers.
What about Roger? Yeah, you kind
Sure,
of just
you could throw the
flex
Roger
it,
in there.
yeah.
Roger should be picked up here right now.
If they want to, yeah.
If they want to. But if it doesn't come down to that, you don't see the Bane.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, yeah, I know you're going to have some fun later.
I'm happy.
We'll have to wait and see.
I am-
Historically, it can go.
Yeah, what you need to make the Bane work is two solid frontliners and then no clear way to get to you.
They lock in the Roger. Oh, we're not quite sure.
Big ticket picks.
Not quite sure, but yeah, these are two very powerful picks, usually first pick material here for a lot of teams.
Yeah. So already, Team Liquid PH don't have to rush it. Amazing dreads by Big J here.
His dreads are in the opposite direction today. Is that
It's getting more intricate. There's the Moskov.
I mean something?
Yep, they're not picking up the Bane.
Ah,
That's
no
a jungle Julian. Andori's picking it up.
All right. If it was any other person, maybe you would consider a mid Julian, but apparently not. Right?
No. Check it out. Assists per game rank number 1 is Ukir at 7.86. followed up by 2 of the Titans mid laners. That's how out of his mind Okir's been playing now in Season 14.
Unbelievable. I think that was kind of like in match number 1 where FNOP stats were actually above, even a bit above sometimes of another Titan, right? So that is really saying something here for the rest of the teams here in MPL PH.
Yeah, truth be told, what makes you a Titan aren't the numbers. It does help, you know, like come down to studying what's possible, what you're capable of. But really got to watch MPL Philippines teams at the top to understand what's going on. Closing up their draft, Team Liquid PH pick up the Tigreal. So there's a possible roamer already for both sides. Closing it up, there's the Faramis taken out. Of course, that's a Riku special. And for Smart Omega, the carry. Interesting. Something tells me Omega's going to invest in one more frontliner.
Oh,
one more solid frontliner because they're closing up the potential answers. He's still here. Obito's still here. Oh no! Wow!
He bought some tickets. He went crazy buying tickets today.
That's so many jutsus in a single second.
I didn't know you could cast that much. Isn't there like a limit?
I'm pretty sure we have to report that to the council.
We'll have to see. He's definitely breaking some rules here. Someone apparently dodged the wife.
You know who else we need to report to the council? These 3 gentlemen.
Who?
They did not report.
They did not report the commander.
To their wives, their respective wives, to watch MPL. But we got you covered. Whoever we need to talk to, just holler.
And you know what? If you're gonna do that anyway, you might as well not highlight to people that you're doing that. I don't know. That was funny. Anyway.
They incriminated themselves.
They incriminated themselves. I mean, we probably wouldn't have noticed, but they made sure we'd notice.
They are penitent sinners. They're already apologizing, but they're here.
Yeah, maybe they already have a plan to make up for it later. So we'll see. We'll see that later. But speaking of things that we'll see, 8 games played last season. Zyda recorded 100% win rate
on Nolan. Barat, who's no longer in the meta. Fredrin also not in the meta. Joy making a showing.
That's fair.
So there's 2 out of 4. 50% of Zyda's known hero pool they can make work with. There's the Grok, there's the Harith, taken out of the picture, no longer in the equation.
I will choose my
there's the Arlott. Oh, it's been a while since we've last seen Arlott.
It actually is, right?
Like, all right.
Maybe 2... last week, sorry, I think Friday we saw one.
Saw him a couple times last week.
Just very rare, very
maybe
sparse.
Once this week. All right, can confirm now where the Tigreal and the Arlott are going. We don't know what the Roger's doing. Most likely going into Zyda's hands.
Still flexible.
Smart Omega though, what's in mid? What's in Rome?
Well, the Grok is not cooking here today, so maybe something like
Minotaur. They can...
Carl,
they can still... Yeah, Jawhead's open, yes, but they can also... Gatot, Lilia. Gatot, Lilia!
Lilia coming
there
in.
It is!
There it is!
It's the main strength of this lineup, I don't know if you guys talked about it at length last night, was its capability to engage at almost any single range.
Very low downtime as well.
Very low downtime.
Exactly.
They can re-engage. They can... Anything that they do, you're not sure if it's offensive or defensive.
That's a fun part of playing Gatot.
It's a rattlesnake lineup.
I saw people commenting yesterday where they were Gatot mains and they're like, finally, thank you for validating us.
Thank you, Omega. Now,
this is a very strong pick.
Liquid closes up with the, again, Eminent Ling. The Roger was out there early on. We didn't know if it was gold or jungle. Now confirmed. Benny will go ahead and scratch away in the gold lane with the Ling closing it up. I like it. It's a very comfortable draft for Liquid, but how does it fare against Omega's venomous rattlesnake draft?
I actually completely agree. Very comfortable. At the same time, it kind of relies a lot on the sets of the Arlott. You know, it kind of relies a lot on the Tigreal as well. If you combo it together, it could be potent, but you know what? Who's potent? It's Venom. Venom's very, very potent on the side of Omega here with the Gatot and the Lilia.
It's the Marikina rattlesnake.
Marikina rattlesnake.
That's where they're from.
Oh, really?
They're boot camps in Marikina City.
There you go. So fun fact for you guys. Let's see what our casters have to say about that. You got Leo and Ian coming up right on your screen.
I'm here.
Sorry, nice Ian.
Thank you so much, guys. Yep, it's me, Nice-Sue and Ingon here on the English desk. And hey, fun fact, I just learned out where the Brun guy is.
What?
It's in Marikina.
Yeah. You haven't been there?
I have not been there.
It's
but
like a huge compound. They even have their own basketball court.
I know they have the basketball court, but I'll tell you what they have in this game here. Hang on. And to our viewers again, the Gatot Mamba is back after what we saw yesterday and how well this performed. I'm wondering if TLPH took some notes. Also with their change, of course, this time bringing in Zyda. You know, taking a quick look at the emblems too. Of course, you got 2 war cries over there for them, and they want to play with this scaling lineup, and it is going to hurt early on, especially with a Ling here. Speaking of Zyda, hang on. I know you have some experience as well, you know, seeing him play in the MDL before, and you heard the stats during the panel segment. How do you think he's going to fare up against Andoryu here?
Andoryu, okay. Zyda, okay, technically he's a good player. Again, S2 of MDL Grand Finals MVP and regular season MVP. But Andoryu's been on a roll, especially with the Julian. We've seen it yesterday as they swept their last series, and of course, Gatot Kacha. But looking at the stats of Zyda last season, 8 games played, 100% winner. So basically, all the games he played, they've won.
Yeah. It's just the only thing is like the panel mentioned, you know, Fredrin and Barretts aren't really in the meta anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you see like a Fredrin pop up once in a blue moon, but for the most part, it's not going to happen.
But still, though, in the MDL, though, he's been using Ling, Lancelot.
Like,
so
he can play the assassins.
Yeah, he can, for sure.
Obviously, he, like, I would say at this point, man, everybody that likes to play MLBB and jungles, they've got the assassins, you know, practiced. Yeah. And you can play around with that. So with this, nothing starting up until this turtle does spawn. So for now, they're going to go ahead. Omega starts this up. TLPH will go ahead and wait for Zyda to go ahead and get that purple buff. But at least for now, you just kind of sit here and wait until this engage comes through. But there's no level 4s yet on the roamers as well.
Okay, the difference between the 2 roamers is although they're both chunky, you wouldn't want to damage. No, he's using the Revitalize, so he doesn't have the Vengeance. So. Okay, as much as possible though, it's okay for Chaknu to get damage, but on the other hand, JP, if he soaks up the damage without having being able to set up the implosion, that's gonna be a huge problem. So for JP, he has to be more safe compared to Chaknu, because Chaknu has the AOG. But look at this implosion play coming in from JP right away. First blood for Zyda as he casts the Tempest of Blades, but gets caught up there. Gonna get a kill. Andoryu brings him down as JP tries to run away, but here comes Chaknu. Here comes the Chimeric Force. Andoryu still on the double kill, finds the triple as well. What a start for the first game.
Oh man, earlier we said Andoryu's been doing phenomenal. Well, look at that, a triple to start. Talk about scaling. That's Sanford. I don't know if he's going to do anything.
Oh, flicker in from Ryota. Ryota army again making noise as Zyda tries to get the turtle and he steals it away. Gonna manage to escape here, but on the other hand, the 2 gold laners meeting in the middle. The clash will not continue here, but look at this. They find someone. It's going to be onto Chaknu. Is he still alive? No. Zyda's going to bring him down.
I stand corrected. Sanford bought enough time to let Zyda come in. Zyda somehow ends up getting the retribution off, takes the objective. So what ended up being a pretty bad situation for TLPH, they at least made it a little less bad.
Yeah.
It's still, you know, highly in favor of Omega in that last exchange, but that's the thing. At least they go ahead and get something, and now they can kind of take it from there because those early kills, that triple kill on Andoryu on a Julian of all things. Look at him. He's already got 2 items being built up here. First one, I'm not sure. Maybe the Feather of Heaven is what he goes. I don't know. Okay, Blood Wings. Blood Wings is what he goes with here. So locks in the Blood Wings this early on, under the 5-minute mark. And part of his job, honestly, is just to get, you know, this interaction between him and Lilia there. You have tons of magic damage available because then you wait later for Big Jome to just show up on the Moskov that we see so many times in and out. And I know that you pointed this out too, you know, the Revitalize on Chaknu. He did this also last night. Ends up working out pretty good in the fact that if he gets the Avatar of the Guardian set up on... Oh, hold on. Sanford?
Okay, Ryota pops the Primal Wrath. As Zyda waits for an opportunity to strike. But again, look at this. Sanford picks up a Thunderbelt, and I actually like to point out what you mentioned about Ukir and Andoryu. Because again, even if Omega doesn't necessarily have a hard lockdown, apart from the Earth Shatter and onward from Ryota, the slows from Andoryu, from Lilia, and even Chaknu, once he taunts the TLPH, that might be enough for Omega to burst down the members of TLPH.
That's the scary thing with the Julian is like once you get those enhanced chains off, you know, it provides a lot of, obviously, time in the air, but also damage. So this turtle for the taking, or TLPH wants to answer this. There's the conceal.
There's a conceal. But is he going to go for the back line? Look at that. Another burst right away onto Sanji as Zaida gets the turtle. Tempest of Blades is there. AOG as well. A lot of ultimates being casted. But the first man down as well as JP. Look at Sanford going in with a vengeance. Is he going to be able to escape? One more hit. But Ryota says it's on me to bring him down. That's 3 for 1 exchange. But still, Zaida gets the turtle.
That's going to keep happening, man. I don't know. Zaida, very impressive with getting the turtle, getting those objectives, but Omega likes to fight. We saw this last night as well with the similar lineup, and even if, for example, let's say Jome's not there, they'll still duke it out, and it seems like Smart Omega has found something that's really like, that they can really play around. Whether that's Chaknu on this Garakacha pick might be part of the puzzle here, but really it's just them playing as a team, having that synergy. And I know we like to say, you know, Omega timers, but throw those out of the window, at least for week 4, because time and time again, Omega has been starting strong.
Actually, if you notice the graphics a while ago, the comparison, Omega has a fastest game compared to TLPH, and faster, longest game compared to TLPH. So in terms of the late game, I think TLPH is more familiar because they have more experience. But as Omega tries to burst down the turret here in the bottom lane, that's the first major objective for Omega.
All right, objectively, at least Omega gets 2 turrets now in their favor. You know, they gave up, they couldn't get the 2 turtles. Jones going to go ahead and save that turret from going down, so it does keep the turret up. But now at this point, you know, for Omega, with a lead they have, a 1.5 thousand gold lead from this point, they want to go ahead and get this 3rd turtle once it comes up here. That set themselves up really well for once the Lord comes into play here. Golden Staff also being picked up here by Jome, and on the flip side, Zaida gets a little sustainability, picks up the Haas Claws, because he knows that part of that pressure coming in might just be the fact that he takes a couple hits, he's going to heal back up and then join the fight once JP or Sanford gets the sets they're looking for. So Smart Omega starts up this 3rd turtle. I don't think they want to give this one up. Looks like it's going to be clearly theirs.
Okay, so the trade for TLPH is instead go for the orange buff of Andoryu. In terms of levels, it's actually Zaida ahead by 1 compared to Andoryu. And right now, if you're TLPH, you wouldn't want to initiate a clash, especially if JP's not around. So Zaida has to do double work here. Make sure to get the pickoffs that they need, and at the same time, go for the split push. Because they're going to be dealing with the Moskov later on into the late game.
That's the thing, though. We always see this, you know, where basically at some point the Roger, you need to get that timing, right? The timing on the items that you need to lock in. Hold on, Conceal going to be used.
Oh, Ryota misclicks on that Earth Shatter. And now they're going to get onto Chaknu. JP, who's going to fall down first? Look at the sustain from Chaknu as he gets the AOG,
Zaida.
but Zaida onto the chase. Tempest of Blades is there. Chaknu is still safe. No casualties for both of these teams. And wow, just wow. Chaknu, although he used the Revitalize. That, oh, look at that! Benny Cutie chases right after Chaknu wants to go for Andoryu. And I believe Benny Cutie watched yesterday's match of Omega, because this is what Chaknu did yesterday.
Yeah.
Against King Kong.
He escaped.
Yeah, he escaped.
He escaped so many times. And, you know, they weren't going to let it go the way this time. And I'm wondering what the call was there, because, of course, Zaida goes in, Tempest Blades. It almost looked like he feigns it. Like, we are going to engage, but then he backs off. And then the call for Benny Cutie to come in comes through. And, you know, that could have just been a really good decision that TLPH takes it, where the momentum, again, all this was building up for Omega, where they were nearly 2,000 ahead. And leading into the first Lord, that's crucial for TLPH to kind of even things out. The only problem that I see with TLPH dealing with this lineup from Omega is the fact that in the Lord pit, and this is why it's so important for JP to get that implosion off.
Oh, final slash onto Chaknu plus a Sacred Hammer. Are they going to burst down? The Mamba. Mamba goes down right away, but on the other hand, Jome working on the top lane.
He's pushing the tier 2. Yeah, he's going for it. I think he's just going to go ahead and, okay, he doesn't fully get it. So there's got to be a response coming up from Benny Cutie. Zaida, Lord is up. But I think that's the one thing, too.
Yeah.
I guess the weak point of the fact of Garakacha can just fly into the air and get out of there is the fact that it's sometimes if you get locked down by multiple CCs, like the final slash like we saw there, or even JP, you're just sitting there clicking, you know, clicking the ultimate. You're like, man, I can't jump. And that's the downside.
Yeah, but the downside for TLPH as well is they have to commit a lot of skills just to bring down Chakno. Again, a final slash plus Sacred Hammer. Although JP didn't use the implosion, it's gonna take a lot just to bring down Chakno. And you can't force or use all your resources because at the end of the day, but wait a minute, Earth Shatter combination for JP here. Spear of Destruction, I'm not sure if it hits, but the Demonic Force is there. Look at that, Chakno soaking up all the damage, but it's not going to be enough because Sanji's going to bring him down. Now Cutie onto the backline, Sanford soaking up the damage as well as Ryota gets the Lord, plus the kill onto Sanford. And that trade, I think that trade will go to Omega.
Yeah, Omega getting the Lord, getting a couple kills after a 2. Part of it is just Chaknu being so hyper-focused with this. Even with a triple final slash from Sanford, they had the win. They had the win in that team fight also because of the fact that we see Jome just freely firing off on the Mozkov here.
Yeah. So
again, great team fighting there from Omega. They get themselves the objective to play around with.
It's a really good pickup
so
for
it's
Ryota.
TLPH, yeah. Ryota doing a fantastic job grabbing that Lord.
So far so good. Ryota's been on a roll. Yesterday, rocking the Phobius twice. And this time, the Edith, as the Lord marches there in the top lane. TLPH still has good wave control, has good wave clear. They still have Benecuti, they still have Zanji. But again, if the setups coming in from Omega continues, it's going to be a hard game for TLPH.
Okay, here they are. TLPH has to deal with this Lord. Also some split pushing happening on the other side of the map from Zyda. They'll go ahead and delay it as long as they can. TLPH knows that they can clear this first Lord pretty well, but they're going to continue to lose some of these tier 2s here as they're worked on by Omega. Hold on to the mid lane. It looks like they're getting the call here. They want a sandwich.
Oh, but Jome catches Zyda off guard. With the onward headshot, no AOG, Spear of Destruction will connect. Here comes Big J, pops the Purify. JP sucking up the damage, but here comes Benecuti. Oh no, he's going up against 3, the Lycan bounce, just to bring down Big J. Manages to escape, Andoryu chasing after Benecuti. He has the war cry though, so it's gonna hurt the Lycan bounce, but Andoryu still wins the exchange.
Oh man, I thought Benecuti would get away with it. But the moves from Andoryu don't fall short. Great usage there, especially with the enhanced sword at the end. But man, Omega still holding on. I mean, they finally got that tier 2 in the mid. They'll take some resources or try to. And TLPH feeling some pressure from Smart Omega.
I think we need to make a petition here. 2-star matches per week.
2-star matches.
This deserves to be a star match as well.
Hey, you know what? After how day 1 and day 2 went, you know, I'll say today has been goated. Day 3 of week 4 so far. Hopefully we get 3 games in this one too, because it's already showing to be a promising series between these two battling out. And, you know, that's the thing. Even with this kind of change-up for TLPH, the fact that Zyda's in, overall it seems like, you know, he has this game plan in mind for Zyda even. It's just the timing was off there.
Yeah.
He ends up getting picked off when it looks like they're going in for a sandwich play against Smart Omega, but then they get punished. That's what they have to kind of work on here with Zyda with that change in where timing is important, especially when you're playing this Ling here.
Yeah,
and now the Lord's up.
And I think Jome and the rest of Omega was really anticipating the sandwich play. That's why he was ready to cast that second skill. Luckily, it hit onto Zyda, plus the onward combination didn't give enough time for Zyda to cast that Tempest of Blade, but right now Omega is bursting down. This Lord, Sanford goes in, but Ukir gets the Lord. AOG once again. JP picks up a kill, plus another onto Ryota. But look at Jome getting another. Gonna get Sanford here. Now TLPH on a roll. It's just Ukir and Jome left. But here comes the Spear of Destruction. Jome going right after 3. He's gonna get Benecuti. He does. Focuses on his attention onto JP. But the Nightmaric Spore from Zanji is there. Look at Ukir bringing down the mid lane as well. It's just Jome left here. Wow.
It's the synergy with the haircuts, man. The hairstyles here between Jome and Ukir.
Oh, they still have the Lord up top. And now focusing their attention onto the middle lane turret. Look at the damage. Even Zyda has to walk away.
Okay, they still have a minion, but they get the base turret. They're happy with it. Man, I have to say it again. Jome and Ukir working together as two to turn that around. Talk about communication and the synergy between the two players.
Okay, now they still have the Lord up top. Ukir with the Glooms, forcing Zyda to use the Templates of Blaze. Spear of Destruction will connect. Will Jome enter as the Lord bursts down the turret? Look at that AOG from Jacknu once again, connecting every single skills. Jome's still here, but Benecutie picks up a kill onto Chaknu as they burst down the Lord. Now 2 inhibitor turrets taken down by Omega.
Man, again, you know, Chaknu is doing the work, I gotta say, on this Ganaconcha, but unfortunately, once you land that and you're in the base, you're kind of exposed too, so you gotta have that follow-up. But unfortunately for them, Jome was kind of zoned out, JP was playing really front there, but ultimately, Smart Omega handles those 2 turrets, they get them down. TLPH only has that 1 base turret left in the bottom lane. So right now, Smart Omega playing on the momentum that they have. You can see that Wind of Nature's there as well for Jome, so he's got a little more defense, plus that Purify. And that's what's kind of helping him in a lot of this positioning, fighting, and everything else.
Yeah.
And concentrated energy locked into for Chaknu. So if he does jump in, he can sustain himself with the Revitalize as well. Chak Mamba with the assists. He's recorded 2,368 assists throughout his MPL PH career. He ranks 4th next to Few, Oh My Venus, and Carl Teasy.
Wow, Chak Mamba, just like the real Mamba, I think 4th in scoring all time.
Yeah, he's a legend, man.
He's a legend, Hall of Legends inductee. I think the only one who has yet to win an MPL title. But right now, they really have a huge lead over TLPH, 2.1K. But again, the story is 1 inhibitor turret for TLPH left.
That's all they have left. And now that they're, you know, nearly 10 seconds away from this Lord here, I'm wondering if either of the jungles will get the, will actually secure the Lord, because so far it's been Ryota, and then it was Ukir. Ukir also picks up the Divine Glaive. So this time around, now that this Lord, this could be a game-winning Lord.
Oh, wait a minute.
Cut off?
They spot off where JP and Sanji is hiding, but Sanford is also here. 5-man rotation for Omega. As Zaida waits patiently in the mid-bush.
He's fine.
He's fine, so...
Let's get some vision.
Okay, so if we're going to play the Lord Dance fight, TLPH has an easier time because their inhibitor turret left is on the opposite side of the Lord. So they can manage the minion waves up top and in mid. But Omega, I think they have a plan to burst down this Lord, not let JP have a setup.
It's a great pickup on him for Chaknu as well. Gets the winner's crown. So if the plan is to just find that perfect setup, Heroes landing, Avatar of the Guardian there, pops the winner's crown, has Revitalized. There's so much. Ukir hasn't died yet either. It's been really difficult for TLPH to deal with him. So right now, favorably, Smart Omega going to go ahead and start this Lord here. Less than half health right now.
Oh, but Ryota catches Sanford off guard there as Jome just dishes out the damage. Ryota has to pop the Primal Wrath onto JP, soaking up every single damage, but Benecutie pops Chaknu's Immortality! But down in JP with the implosion play of a lifetime! 2 members will fall down in exchange for Sanford. Ryota working on Benecutie, pops his Immortality. Double kill coming in from Zaida. They want to do the cleanup crew here. It's just Ryota left.
Oh man, JP! It's all his fault! Ends up going in with the setup, the implosion of a lifetime, exactly when they need it. And now all of that results in them getting and securing this Lord. We're going to take a look at the Infinix instant replay, and it's right here, fighting in this corridor. JP sees his moment, takes a couple of shots, gets ready, and boom, finds 4. And even if Ukir gets out of there, that is enough time and setup for TLPH to turn that in their favor.
Wow. I mean, he was literally catching the damage of the Primal Wrath from Ryota. He was even stunned there. But since he had that flicker, he was able to cast a 4-man implosion play, activating his damage dealers to dish out the damage. And right after that, Zaida, a jungler, finally secured a Lord Naisu.
Oh, again, man. You know, that's why you can never count out these roam plays, these roamers that do it. Chaknu does it well, but this time JP does it. And now they have the push into the base here, working on the bottom turret.
Oh, Ukir He has to force the Black Shoes just to evade, but look at Sanji dealing out the DPS. Gets a kill onto Ukir. Tempest of Blades for Zyda here. And now JP catches someone. It's going to be onto 2. Who's going to fall down first? Ryota is low. He's going to fall down in hands of Benikuti. Chakno AOG is not going to be enough. Has 2 members left to fend for themselves. 5 members of TLPH still here. They don't care. They want to go for the crystal. They're going to pick up a kill onto Jome, but Jome onto the backline. Wants to go right after Sour. But Sanji says, not my San duo. A 1v1 onto the jungle. Andoryu wins that clash. And Omega defends the push.
They do it again, time and time. Somehow, some way, Smart Omega has this defense plan, but then can they keep it together? The push still coming through from Sanji and Sanford here. It's only Andoryu for a little bit longer.
4 seconds before Ukir arrives, but Andoryu manages to pick one off. And now a Winter Crown play just to delay. No more inhibitor turrets left, but Omega still standing.
Ukir, okay. You gotta slow the pace here, Ukir.
I need to drink water.
Good thing.
Wow.
Smart Omega, there's something about them where just when you think things are gonna end, the switch just turns on. They somehow defend. Great defense. I know our panel is going to want to break that down later because great usage, even of the Spear Destruction, to go on the backside and fire off and get space from Jome. Perfect decisions there to defend. They buy themselves time still in this game. And we're 30 seconds away from the Lord. Some items being picked up here. Even the potions and immortalities at this point. For these teams, 21.5 minutes into this game, TLPH saw the victory, but as much as they tried, they couldn't punch game 1 in.
Imagine, prior to that clash, prior to the Lord take, TLPH only had 1 inhibitor standing left. And right now, they still have 1 inhibitor left, and Omega has none. It's just a crystal for the Barangay, but it was a good decision for Omega to really separate the clash. Andoryu and Jome, a defense of a lifetime once again, and now starting things off with this Lord. Zyda's going to be in the picture soon, but Benikuti making sure to push the mid lane, control the waves once again.
Okay, the downside is for Omega, all base turrets are down. TLPH holds on to 1. As small as an advantage that is, it's still an advantage. So all waves have to be managed here as well, and that's part of the problem that Smart Omega has to solve. TLPH also kind of spotting things out, getting the vision they need. JP still holding on to the immortality himself. He can play up front and a little risky here. So Omega, I would say even damage department, like they're all locked in. And Dora, you saw how much damage this Julian is doing.
Yeah.
Like he is there and he's able to compete, sometimes even 1v2, and that's something that TLPH has to keep an eye on. You can see why they don't want to commit to the Lord just yet here.
Look at the kill scoreboard. I think it's been a while since we've seen a 19 and 20 kill scoreboard as we approach the 23-minute mark. Even the 35-minute game of FCAP and TLPH didn't reach this score.
Yeah.
Wow, and right now, JP, he has to deal with the Purifies of Jome and Ukir plus the Black Shoes. So even if he has the Flicker, as long as they pop the Purify, they can easily turn things around.
There it is, less than half health right now. They're still going to slow it down.
Oh, look at Benikuti onto Ukir! Pops his immortality. He still has the Black Shoes though, has to back away. And now it's going to be a retribution battle between the 2 junglers. Zyda secures the Lord. TLPH will disengage, and they won that trade.
They don't have to fight, and they know it, right? They already get that out. Ukir holds on a little bit longer, but now they have to defend, man. They have to defend once again. We're going to see if Smart Omega has this defense play in their pockets while avoiding JP, because JP is waiting for that set. He doesn't have Flicker, doesn't have it available, but Sanford does. And that's why they're playing up front as this Lord gets ready to walk in.
Implosion play from JP as they bring down Andoryu. AOG is there, but Benikuti managing to free it. Every single member of Omega has to walk away though because of damage. He has to respect the damage of Omega as Omega tries to work on this Lord. Chaknu very low here. Jome still unbothered. JP goes in with the Sacred Hammers. Immortality is going to be popped up, but Zyda onto the backline. Look at Benikuti going around after the crystal as TLPH forces a Game 1 win.
And you can hear the crowd. Let's go Liquid. As Game 1 is secured, but man, I will say Omega did everything they could on that defense. But it was just too much pressure from the Cavalry to take game one. But what an amazing game one of the series here. I can't wait to see what's in store. And I can't wait to see what our panel has to say about this. Let's throw it over to them to break it down.
I mean, say about what? There's so many things that actually happened there. We're going to have to go one by one if I want to really get a good full grasp of that. But in general, TL PH basically just forced Omega into really tough situations where Omega had to bend so many different ways to get what they needed.
Yeah, number one, the Rattlesnake lineup no longer 100%. Its first loss ever since its debut last night after Smart Omega played 2 games in a row with the same strat, put to a stop here by the defending champions with Zyda as well, mind you. Amazing work by Team Liquid PH. And of course, it's this man's fault.
As always.
JP.
I mean, it started off with, like Igan beautifully and most eloquently put it, a beautiful implosion. That just happened over time and time again afterwards. And somehow they were able to play around this Gato Gacha, which honestly is a challenge in and of itself. So, honestly, big props to JP for playing around it. At the same time, Benny Cutie with the plays he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's those 2 players and heroes, the dads of
Yeah.
Team Liquid PH specifically. Number one, why the Tigreal, right? Looking at the highlights, you'll see here the turning points, wherein for a majority of this 20-something minute game, for sure Smart Omega was in control. But as soon as JP had a bead on how the Rattlesnake actually performs, how it wants to lean hard on certain rotations and movements and how maybe they want to back off, that's when he read, you know what, maybe a single implosion will wreck the tempo and the approach of the barangay. And you're just waiting for that moment right about
when he goes down.
here.
And he barely built.
Oh,
my
dear Lord. See, so he saw that coming. And mind you, that did not come quick. That did not come easy. That was at 18 minutes. That was 18 minutes, Rockhard.
Yes.
After, what, 4 or 5 big-ticket team fights that Omega won, trades that Omega won, JP comes in with the clutch.
I was actually going to bring that up. If you look at the scoreboard, it's actually pretty bloody. It's a relatively bloody game. It doesn't end here, by the way. This is barely the beginning. And I would say that, you know what, this was an immense defense that was put up by Omega. You cannot count him out. BJ was making the play.
Kudos to Omega again. It being the Rattlesnake lineup wherein they can engage from many different angles, many different ranges. That's the main reason why they were able to defend. They came in from the back, the SOD at close to point blank, but it allowed for Jome to punish the low health members of Team Liquid PH, to kick them right out of their base, to maybe fight for another day, extend the game up to 24.5 minutes. Talking about how Benny Cutie was the main source of another type of re-engage or a way to punish this strat by Smart Omega. Look at the rest of the lineup. 4D, Saida, Sanji. They're very fixed as to how far and where they can fight from.
Very one-dimensional.
Well, one-dimensional in the sense that you know what they're up to.
That's right.
Benny, on the other hand, can close the gap with the Lycan Founds, then disengage with the transformation to allow for himself a better angle. That's why there were a few highlights wherein he was chasing down Joe, wherein he was threatening Joe.
And then backing up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While he was in Lycan form, he would always these, and then in human form, he would punish those tougher targets, that being Ryoga and Champion.
Yeah, it actually was just that. I think we saw it in the highlights as well. Alright, he jumped in and backed off, and it went back in. It was really a big mind game for TLPH. And again, from one of the legendary figures of TLPH.
That's right. They were really pushing boundaries if possible with their heroes. Speaking of which, pushing boundaries step up to everyone's expectation and of the pressure of the world watching on this play. Sure, for a majority of his 4-minute game, he was on the back wheel. He was just pushing, taking what he could. But let's believe, as JP and BenQ said, it's go time. Let's go Liquid, it's go time. Side came in and actually used the link to its strengths. Luckily, this was a super late game. He scaled up.
It was very on point, honestly. he did a job in the early games that was expected building.
What you
And
could.
I would say a little bit more when he was trying to bait out some fights. Like I think the casters mentioned it, right? He was trying to use them as a blaze, and they thought they were gonna fight, but they weren't. So it was like just giving a maximum amount of map control here for the team.
And that's key to extending this game to the point where Team Liquid PH could actually win. And now, all the more, so that Jose and Joseph mentioned,
The JJ.
they're literally just Jose or they're literally just both Joseph.
That's right.
All right? Is it now the time for Team Liquid PH to step up to the plate and be the late game team? To be the comeback squad?
I would say so. I would say that's exactly the direction that they're going to right now, and trying to get it from Smart Omega, nonetheless.
Of all
the teams.
Of all of them, right? But real quick, I will allow for that. I will say yes, I will agree. Only if they go 30-something minutes again and win.
All right, so we have a timer now, 30 minutes, and maybe they can be the new comeback kings. But
What was that against FCAP? 36?
yes,
Something like that.
34, 34.
That was close, though.
Yeah,
When they almost
close.
beat Falcons AP.Bren, that was close. So more of these late game victories, these comebacks from Team Liquid, then yeah, they will confirm be the comeback kings of 2024.
And we're gonna go in a quick meta check before we bounce back, because we got it. You've been itching to talk about this. We've been itching to discuss Chip, the permaban of Red Side.
No.
100%, 56 out of 60.
Nobody.
Right now.
Nobody. 100% contention rate, 100% ban rate, and all of those bans from Red. Number one, we keep mentioning how Blue Side has a major and of course objective, not subjective, objective advantage. That's why Red Side has the advantage, because if the chip goes through, best believe first phase blue pick gonna be chip. And in comparison to these major heroes like Wanwan, Fredrin, Matilda,
The
and
permabans,
Nolan
yeah.
in the past, as nice as it is to have a 88, 85, 88, 89%
Yeah.
ban rate last season in Nolan and Matilda, so far, Rockart, 60%. 69, that's the whole season, all right?
Yeah.
60 games?
Halfway.
That's just the halfway point. That's ridiculous. And how perfect is it that our MVP in Game 1 is one of the most notorious chip players
Yes.
when he was allowed through JP?
That's right. So keep your eyes on the prize, guys. Especially if you're fighting against TLPH, keep it on the ban.
All the more.
All the more. Ban it twice if you must. Because that's just how good JP is on that hero as well. And yes, the chip can really dominate in the competitive scene.
Yes.
But of course, we have a completely different stat when it comes to your ranked game.
There's a different story when you look at Mythical Glory, 50 stars up, Mythical Honor, 25 stars up, 10% ban rate, 24% ban rate, reverse respectively. The reason why this is, folks, is because Chip is a hero that demands on-point communication.
Exactly.
And that just all the more explains why players like JP, Ogwin, Raflesia, JP is very familiar with this gentleman. They are so good at talking to their teams and orchestrating these 5-man collapses that they demand 100%. In ranked games, how often do you play with 5-man? And how often do you have 5-man with comms?
I guess that's the reason why it's it just goes down. It demands maximum attention, and your ultimate basically is useless if the team doesn't know or you can't coordinate well with your team. Chip mains in the comment section. If you guys are there,
Tell 'em.
please let us know. If you are a Chip main, raise your hand and let us know how it feels to play Chip on a 5-man and how it feels to play it on solo rank.
Yeah, not many people will play it solo rank.
Right?
Like, here's the thing, even on a mechanical level, right? The fact that at the push of a button, you could all just go to a single place to team fight, already that's a borderline broken thing.
Big advantage, to say, putting it lightly.
Yeah.
So right now, obviously, Chip, we just wanted to bring that up there in case you guys are wondering why it's permaban. But for now, though, obviously Omega comes out on the... It ran out. The Omega timers ran out.
Yeah.
But here, I'm going to put this out there, right?
Okay.
Because it feels like TLPH had to maximize each and every hero just to eke out that win. Even the iframes of the Roger. If Omega were just 1% off today, that might have been anything that Omega. Sorry, if TLPH was 1% off, that might have been anything that Omega needed to win the game.
Oh yeah, the game could have literally ended at like 17, 18 minutes.
Yeah, it's really scary.
It's just Team Liquid hungry for the win, and they really just wanted to get there.
And I wonder if you guys are hungry for diamonds. Because if you want diamonds,
I am.
90,000 diamonds are up in store for you here in the MPL Arena. Go to the venue and post the live experience that you had here with the hashtag MPL S14 live experience right there, and win up to 90,000 diamonds. So post it on Facebook and post it on TikTok. Make sure it's on public and tag the official pages of MPL Philippines, because there's a lot of people here. And
I just checked; it's a full house still.
it's a full house again. Match number 1, surprised. Match number 2, I guess not really. And again, you just let us know what your thoughts are, what your experience was, and that's all you need to do to get 90,000. Part of that 90,000. I don't know if one guy is going to get 90K.
What is the prize pool like? One guy or gal?
I wonder, right?
What's the breakdown?
Maybe between 2 45K. I don't know.
Still
You'll
a good
find
deal.
out when you go here. There you go.
Join in to find out.
So that's going to be it for that one. So hopefully you join us. If not now, maybe book it in advance. Maybe week number 5 we'll see you. Week number 6. Honestly, we still have 4 weeks, a whole month of regular season to play here. So we're at Green Sun. Book it online on ph-mpl.com/tickets, and that's where you are. But right now, for the people, speaking of people on the venue, we're gonna look for one of the favorites, a crowd favorite now. It's a Smart gameplay pose with hashtag the power of Smart. I wonder what we're gonna copy today, because we've been doing a lot of nonchalant poses recently.
I would prefer the more active poses. I want something physically demanding.
Physically demanding.
Who is this? Oh, that's.
Well,
All right.
I guess
You know, in honor of Zyda's win, I'll allow it. There you go.
for the win. And you gotta do the face as well, man.
It's a slight tilt. I'd say that's like a 10, 15%, 15-degree angle.
Yeah.
And then, folks, that is the
attitude.
left hand open, right hand fist.
Okay.
All right?
All right. So I guess this can come close, but cameraman doesn't think so.
Yeah, you gotta have intense eyes.
There
too.
you go. The intensity. You gotta mimic the intensity of Zyda here, who is playing on all cylinders today.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wait, no! Jutsus are not part of it.
Yeah, that's not fair.
All
That
right.
is not fair.
Yeah, I'm on this guy's side. There you go.
He's got the right attitude. He's got
I'm
the right
with it.
aura.
I'm with it.
Right? You can't trick that with techniques. You can't trick that with jutsu. Right. So, at least for now, we have a winner. And again, I'm looking forward to the really demanding ones. Maybe they're saving it for playoffs. I don't know. But we're looking for the really physically demanding. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
we have a little bit of that.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
That was pretty
one.
good, but
That's pretty good.
you know, a little. It's fine. You know, like with the tilt.
It's like you're just saying thank you or something. Or
Yeah, or he's ready to fight.
ready. Oh yeah, right.
You know who's ready to fight?
Who?
Smart Omega.
Smart Omega. They're going blue. And that's, what's their win percent rate on blue? 88.
Pretty high
It went down maybe a tad.
because they lost.
Because they
just
lost
now.
one. But still relatively high, right? It's like Falcons AP.Bren on blue side as well. And FNOP on blue side win rate. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of a good advantage, good thing for Omega to get this side.
Still objectively the best side to stand on and to
Yeah.
pick from. I guess that's why they picked blue here, is because they want to force game 3.
Yeah.
Team Liquid on match point. Rather, it's Team Liquid who picks, because again, Omega is home, so that's how that explains that. So, folks, sorry for the confusion. It's Team Liquid who's choosing blue now. Again, all the more.
Oh, there it is.
We're at
Right.
match point. We want to win. Stake blue.
Thank you so much. There you go. We confirm it, and TLPH does, I believe we'll see it in the bid, a relatively high blue side win rate as well. Again, maybe most of the teams in the MPL PH does have that high of a win rate. We'll see as we head into game number 2 here for TLPH versus Omega.
You see what I'm seeing? The Tigreal ban. Daddy JP, get out
Respect.
of here.
No shortcuts in life.
And there's a chip, of course. They teased us. Like,
Yeah.
oh, look, we're not going to ban the chip.
Earlier it did show in the stat. It's 100% red side, but first ban 56/60.
There you go. So
There you go.
some teams are gonna try to play around with it,
And
but
tease it out, right?
At the end of the day, you know you gotta ban it. Okay, so what's left out here open? The Edith, the Roger, the Zask, the Jushin.
Azushin. Oh my goodness, I would not be surprised, but it's Edith for the first pick. Now, a lot of people would contest, you know what, Zushin, oh, so good, why not pick it up? You know what, it's still kind of...
You gotta build around it.
You gotta build around it.
It's
That's
not
the thing.
it doesn't win on its own.
Yeah, it doesn't have that oomph that Ililia has. It doesn't have so much control, but then again, you also have to draft heroes that will capitalize on the control that the Zushin can provide.
Yep, what's brewing? What's Coach Snap and Coach Lembot thinking? Still, again, the aforementioned Roger, either of the two mid laners, Zask,
Yeah.
Jushin, still open.
Again,
They're not a Tarizla team. Like, that's a Falcons AP.Bren thing to do.
I would say more X-Borg than Tarizla at this point, right? So
yeah.
you're gonna have to consider that. You know, there's a Zushin, and what's gonna use it? There you go,
What?
Big J.
Oh yeah, Roger's banned out. Yeah,
Yeah,
never mind.
Big J, why not, right?
Big
He
J,
played a
Moscow.
really good game. Again, can't get enough of Big J here today, right? I feel like he
Dude,
did everything perfectly early.
All weekend he's played Moscow. Every single game so far.
Every single game?
that Smart Omega played in week 4. Played in
Huh.
Moscow.
Flashy accompaniment.
All right, there's a Zask, and of course the Ling. You know what's dangerous about this Ling, Rockart? Is it picked so early that Smart Omega can do just this. They can go toe-to-toe, and then they can pick up heroes that threaten Zyda's Ling. And you know what's scary? Team Liquid PH is going to be on the back foot. Midnight taught me this trick.
What?
In the school of Midnight drafting and analysis, if you have to pick up a hero in the first phase, and then in the second banning phase, ban heroes to protect that hero, you're on the back foot. You're playing defense.
And that's exactly what they might have to do
It's
here.
hard to attack from
Right?
this angle.
Yeah, so they may be at a disadvantage right now, but again, that kind of depends on whether or not they're going to do exactly what you said. Are they going to have to ban out heroes that will protect the lane in this scenario as well? We'll have to find out.
I'd
What are the
reckon-
heroes that we're thinking about
I
here?
reckon they should. There's one, the Croc for sure, the Kufra, the Cho,
Kufra! Yeah, there
the
you go.
Kaj, and what's difficult here is both teams might actually want to block out roamers. But here's the thing, by pick 4, as soon as we go back into the picking after bans, Omega goes first.
There it is. And that's exactly what they're going to capitalize on.
And it's not just any roamer they're playing with, it's that one, it's the Mamba!
It's the Mamba.
It's Joshua Mangilog!
Oh man, Gatot Gacha definitely is a really good pick, but I don't know how it's gonna fare against the Fanny. Again, very hard to catch a Fanny if you don't have targeted crowd control, if you don't have skills that chase a Fanny across the board. I guess you could say the same
That
for
too.
the Link.
You're right! Oh, see?
They know!
And then Liquid's gonna take out the Kufra. Like, you just wouldn't allow that. You just shouldn't.
So, there it is. As perfectly predicted right there.
So what's left? Do you just let both junglers, both assassins run roughshod? Is that what's gonna happen here?
I think so. I think, yeah, they're just gonna hunt each other down. What is this, the Wild West?
Check out the MPL PH page. You'll know what the Wild West looks like.
That's true. Right now, though, are they just gonna leave it up in
Okay.
the air, hunt each other down here?
To be fair, there is one answer per side that is a soft answer.
What?
You have the Edith, so that the Fanny just can't randomly go around. And then you have the Moscow. But wait, there's one. That's an answer.
Yeah, it's very difficult for a Ling to play around
Does
if
that
there's
count?
a Barrett's on the play.
You just time well the welcome or the missile experts, and the Ling just the floor is lava.
That's right.
Just,
you're not gonna have a fun time. And now, what's the pick? That's Jawhead.
That's JH
Assault unit awaiting orders, TACOM.
and Carry.
Carry.
Okay, so that's what you pull up against the Jushin and the Barats.
All right. Great answer against the Zushin.
But they still need a roamer.
But then again, you still need someone to answer this carry, this Fanny.
And this Ling.
I guess you could kind of rely on Onward and Earth Shatter, but it's hit very miss. Some people would say hit and miss, but it's more miss than hit.
All right, there's one. You protect yourself from the Carry, the Edith, and the Zask,
What about Lolita?
and then you bonk the Ling out of the sky.
All right. So I guess both sides have answered, I would say, pretty appropriately.
I
but
wouldn't
it's
s-
soft.
It's soft, yes. I
Right.
wouldn't say it's like full on, like you're countered. It's more of soft answers.
Yeah.
to keep him under control. No jumpy.
No
Bonk.
jumpies. And I've seen Lolitas fly all the way across half the map, chasing someone
Really?
to bonk. I've seen it happen half. It's going to be so much fun.
All right.
Either way, assassin versus assassin, answer for answer. It'll be a fun time here for this one. What do you think? No one's on top here.
Neither, no. But I'd like to think maybe TLPH are playing with momentum.
Let's wait and see. Throw it over to our casters to take us to the game.
Woo!
Thank you so much, panel, for breaking down the draft here for game number 2. Once again, I'm
Welcome
Naisu,
to
joined here on the
Mobile
desk
Legends.
with Ingon after an amazing game number 1. And I gotta say, man, I wasn't expecting it to go as long as it did. It looks like we're gonna have some time to share our thoughts, of course, in comparison also with the panel here. But game 1 was amazing. It was good discipline also, I'd say, coming out from TLPH, as hard of a defense that they had to get through from Smart Omega. But I don't know, what are you feeling? And I know you had to take a couple breaths through that game too. There was a whole lot of action.
It was wild.
How do you think this one's gonna go?
Again, we have Assassin's matchup, Ling versus Fanny. So I'm hoping it's going to be a fast-paced early game.
Fast-paced early, okay.
But who's the roam again for TLPH? Was it the Jawhead?
Jawhead, yeah. So it's Jawhead versus Lolita, I believe it is.
So you'd want lockdown onto the Fanny. It really depends if JP again performs exceptional, like what happened a while ago. Because earlier, game number 1, we've seen Andoryu start very strong. That's a 3-0-1 KDA for the Julian. So if they don't manage to catch this Fanny, it's going to be a huge, huge problem for TLPH.
They have to catch the Fanny. I think part of it too is in the hands of Andoryu. I think when people see Andoryu for the first time play like some of these assassins, even off the top of my head, like when he played the Hayabusa, he's such a mechanically gifted player that now he's going to be playing the Fanny, a hero that is still, even in the hands of some of the best players in the league around the world, if you will, is still a risky pick. Like it is one of those heroes that, you know, you can either snowball out of your mind or you can also just get completely choked out of your own resources, and then you're just kind of there. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that with the lineup and with the risk that they're taking of bringing out the Fanny in this pick, like they're able to synergize well with it and then get the snowball going early on.
Yeah, basically there's no in-between when it comes to Fanny. But one thing for sure is we are heading in back to the Land of Dawn for game number 2. Okay, so Shaknu this time opting for the Lolita. I think it's for really Benikiti and again the Primal Wrath, because a while ago Ryota used Edith. He was able to dish out the damage, and Omega knows this. That's why Lolita is a good pick up against a late game hero like Kari as well.
Yeah, it's good coverage. And taking a look at the emblems as well real quick. Of course, you're still going to have Lethal Ignition here for Fanny. You got the Warcry there on the other side. The Link, early defensive flicker too. Jome feeling the pressure with JP kind of just staring him down. Shaknu has to join the fight, so he's going to be there to kind of protect Jome. And I think that's the thing. Every single, I don't know, actually, I'm not sure if it's every single series, but the Mozgov's still popping up a lot, right? Almost in, at least for every series. You see it at least once, I would say. And for the most part, that's the thing. Both these lineups, just like we saw in Game 1, you still have side lane pressure. Whether that's a Ling here for TLPH, whether that's Jome on the Mozgov. And, you know, that's part of it, too, is throwing in those Spirit Destructions, finding the right positioning that you can do. Now, one of the big parts also is this Barrett's pick. Again, another pick that we don't see often. We even talked about it, that it doesn't pop up at all in the jungle now. So Ryota, oh, hold on, there's a lot of focus up here.
Okay, it's just Jome left.
It's Jome again.
But okay, JP goes right in. Is he going to be able to cast the ejector? He does, and I think it's going to be a first blood kill onto TLPH. Luckily, Benny Cutie was the one who got that kill.
That's tough for Jome because they knew his flicker was down. They just tried to do the thing, you know, just a minute and a half ago.
Yeah.
So the call was there, and Jome was very far into the lane. Gets tossed up. He knows he's playing against a Jawhead, and, you know, it finds that range to get the ejector off. So that's a tough start in the gold lane, and with that, this Turtle's up here, and TLPH is just going to go ahead and take it.
Okay, a strong start for TLPH. Gets a kill onto the gold laner of Omega plus the Turtle. So, contrast to what happened during game number 1, it's actually TLPH on the driver's seat right now. Again, Andoryu had the 3-0 KD, 3-0-1 KDA first 5 minutes of the game, plus the Turtles. So, Omega really needs to step up because if we reach the late game, okay, they have the Moskov. But again, if Zyda snowballs and Benny QT is activated right away, they could end this in 12 minutes, in 13 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. In the hands of Benny QT with the carry here, early kills already going to give him the advantage that, you know, Benny QT's going to play around with. That's why still you see so much focus here in the gold lane. They'll go ahead and just try to do the same thing, and everybody knows that play, right? TLPH is also going to stay up there because there's not really anything else you can find. Like, if you think about it.
Okay, they want to go for the stun. Look at the cables coming in.
Stun?
Plus the Numinum Blast, but Benny QT manages to stay alive. Now the counterattack for TLPH. Zyda will finish the job as brings down Chaknu. Now Omega still, no trade for Omega despite them starting that rotation up top.
Great defensive just positioning for Benny QT. I'm surprised he was able to stay alive. Yeah, he did have to pop the Purify, but still enough to kind of keep him in that and not go down and lose that lead that he had. So everything being thrown at him. Once again, JP still kind of being a menace here on this Jawhead pick. Berserker's Fury now being picked up for Zyda as well. And this is what we were talking about, the snowball potential for both junglers. But right now, it's everything that TLPH is just doing by the book, building up that lead they have here. And so I think this is going to get tougher here, Ingon, especially the fact that, like I was saying, one of the weak points of the Fanny is if you get behind, it's tough to come back from that.
Yeah, especially up against the Jawhead that's right now 0-0-2. So Leo's been saying this a lot, that to fight off the Jawhead, but wait a minute. Ryota, Daytona's welcome onto JP. Are they going to be able to finish him off? Spear of Destruction will connect. Jome is in the picture right now, but the first man down is okay. Andoryu manages to stay alive. Look at Sanford with the Primal Wrath as Zyda brings down Chaknu. Again, still no trade for Omega. Zyda wants to go right after Jome here. And that's a 4-0 kill scoreboard plus 2 turtles for the Cavaliers.
TLPH taking everything here in that early game, not giving any room to work for Omega. And it all started again with that first blood pickoff on Jome earlier on. So now you're back further going against the wall. They're going to have to find some type of play here.
Whoa, look at the cables from Andoryu, but again, almost is never enough. That's the second time that they almost got a hold of Benny QT.
Oh, hold on. They might go for their own counterplay here. Ryota, quite tanky on this Barretts, but waiting on the rest of the team, going to be able to spot them out.
Okay, Daytona's welcome once again, plus the flicker combination, but it isn't going to be enough to bring down JP, because so far he's still here. He has to use the flicker to walk away, but look at the Numinum Blast coming in. But the first man down still is JP. Ryota still alive, but Sanford says no. 1-for-1 trade. Ryota and JP will fall down. They're not yet done because Zyda right now has the Finch boys. Can actually go down right after Chaknu. Tempest of Blage manages to escape the Spear of Misery as they try to bring down Chaknu here. A killing spree coming in from Zyda. Sanford not yet done. Earth Shatter combination, but Joe manages to walk away safe. One member down for Omega, one member down for TLPH.
Oh, man. Again, even with utilizing the Jawhead here for JP, or whether it's Sanford on the Edith, the timing and the overlapping of things from TLPH, just from battle spells to ultimates to positioning, are tough to play against. Even when you're under your own turret, what do you do?
Yeah.
If you're Smart Omega and you're down now nearly 5,000 gold, you got to look at how the items fall into place too. They're falling behind. JP again.
Oh, another ejector play. Joe manages to escape, but Zyda with the Tempest of Blades to bring him down. 0-2-2 for Big J. Not a good start for Omega, and I do agree. Look at the lineup of TLPH. 4 out of the 5 heroes, technically, they dive. If you count how Benny QT plays, he honestly dashes forward, so he's also a diver for TLPH.
Okay, getting a little breather here. Ingon, what do you think? Because now we've seen a couple times where even Ryota has gone in. You know, he's utilized the Daytona's welcome. He's even flickered using it, trying to, you know, get this advantage with taking someone away from TLPH, getting that space, and then they want to burst someone down, but What are they? What is it? Are they just lacking the damage right now to actually follow up on that?
Yeah, they lack the damage so far because Jom not off to a good start. Even Andoryu having trouble in his own jungle. And the problem is, they commit the Daytona's Welcome onto JP, even use the Flicker. And after all that, JP was still able to escape. Even the Numinum Blast for Chaknu connected onto JP.
Yeah.
But still, he was able to escape. So right now, they need to pick their targets properly. Again, I know it's hard because Benny QT, we have been mentioning his positioning is always superb. There are a lot of there are 2 instances wherein Andoryu almost had it, almost was able to bring down Benny QT. But right now, if you're Omega, you really have to pick your targets because so far JP's tanky. You don't want to go for Sanford because you're just helping him stack up his passive. So it's really all eyes on Benny QT, all eyes on Zyda. If you could perform the Daytona's Welcome to Zyda, that would be great.
Yeah, it's. I love seeing the pictures, by the way, from the audience here. But yeah, I think that's part of the main thing. I'm sure our viewers online too for the international English stream will agree. Like, Smart Omega, they're getting outgunned, outmaneuvered right now. They're having a difficult time, and I don't like when I see this kind of lineup. And again, I already said it before we head into the game. You pick up a Fanny, you don't get to get the lead that you're looking for. How much use do you have as the game gets that mid to late game transition? You know, that's the thing. I think maybe the best players out there that like to main the Fanny and everything will say, well, you always have this impact. Like, you always can. And I would say for the most junglers, like, you do have an impact.
Yeah.
But with someone like Fanny and the rest of your team is also falling behind and you don't really have much else going for you right now, how far can you delay the game? Like, that's the thing. How far can you build up the time that you need to get the items you need? Hey!
Whoa!
Big shout out. That's Leo with his drawing, of course. Joshua here, too. He's got the whole lineup. TLPH there.
Yeah, huge shout out for a super fan, Jonathan Kua. He has a lot of drawings for not just the players, but also all of us.
Who else has he got? Oh, he's going to show us more, but we're going back into the game.
I actually like your point, Naisu, wherein you said that what Fanny can do. So far, so far Andoryu has been split pushing. But again, if you're this behind, eventually TLPH is going to go right after your purple buff, and Omega will have to, protect that purple buff. So they have one more in their plate to deal.
Yeah. And as soon as this tier 1 goes down, which is right now, then the focus is protect the purple buff even more.
This is the goal of Omega and the goal of TLPH. Zyda surveying the scene here. I think they have to give it because 5 members of TLPH is here. Andoryu goes in, but
goodbye.
JP! Look at the catch! That was a flying Andoryu!
I don't know, man. With a jawhead there, I would not want to be playing a Fanny. You come swinging in, and JP's like, come to my arms, I'll throw you in the air. Oh.
Wow. I mean, JP so far has been playing phenomenally. A while ago, earlier, we've seen him with the Tigreal. Who could forget? Even Antianara from the Phil panel said that was the turning point of game number 1, the 4-man implosion play. But right now, that's what you want from Omega. That's what you want from Chaknu. Where is the turning point for the Barangay to turn things around and force a game 3?
That's a good question. It's loaded because, every time we get a glimpse at things, it's just more going bad. Well, and at that point, we'll go back to our super fan here, Jonathan. Who is this? This is get back to this game because right now, nothing's changing. Smart Omega is just down.
Who's the one
I think that was Brigida?
Brigida?
Is that Brigida?
Oh, I think so too. And
if you guys are wondering about ours, we already have them. Jonathan did a great job. He handed us our pictures already.
I even have Chip on my back.
You have Chip on yours?
Yeah, I have. See.
Why do you have Chip, by the way?
I don't know. I don't even use Chip.
That is a really good chip. I wish we could show our audience right now. That's a really good chip.
Whew.
I just have mine in my pose, my normal pose.
Your Superman pose.
Yeah.
Your Clark Kent. Is that right, Clark Kent?
What's Clark Kent? Yeah.
Okay, Clark Kent. Okay. I got confused. But look at this. This is what you get when you watch in Green Sun Hotel. You get to flex your girlfriend.
And your pets.
And your pets. And what you want the world to read about your message. Because so far, all of our fans are having a fun time here. Especially the ones who experienced Series 1 our star match went to 3 games, and I'm just really hoping this series would also go to a game number 3.
Yeah,
Aw.
at this point with game number 3 on a wish list, so it's looking pretty scary for all the Brungai out there.
Yeah.
And which is crazy because, like you said, game 1 was an amazing game. You know, it was very close. It was very just. It would even say like it was just a battle, you know, between these two. And for this one, something's completely changed here where it just feels like they're so far behind. They're trying to scrape up what they can, and I think it's at least for the next couple of minutes, man. I would say at least for the next 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Smart Omega will be having a difficult time trying to just focus on catching up here.
Yeah, and I actually noticed that Chaknu, instead of going for the flicker, went for the revitalize for the extra sustain. So I was asking you a while ago, when will the Mamba have a JP moment, a game 1 JP moment to turn things around? It's hard to do that when you're a Lolita with a revitalize. You know, less mobility, less out of nowhere Numinum blasts because you don't have the flicker. So
yeah, what's better? I wonder what. Oh, hold on. We're going back into the game. Here we go. Jumping in the game, back to it. Nearly the 8-minute mark. Lord still a minute away.
oh,
TLPH is like, yeah, we're feeling antsy here. We're gonna
fine.
go ahead and spam the recalls.
We're fine. We're unbothered. It's 8 minutes in. You have a Fanny. We know how to counter out the Fanny, especially in the early game. And so far, TLPH, the Cavalry, has done a wonderful job. And JP with the throw onto Ryota. Is he going to be able to sustain it? Manages to catch someone, but Zaida finishes him off as they work on the middle lane turret. And Sanford with another setup here. Chaknu has to use the Numinum Blast just to delay, but Andorio manages to catch Zaida. That's a 1-for-1 trade. But the problem is the Holy Shield in the middle lane has been popped up. Andorio wants to run after JP, but JP manages to escape.
He's on out of there. That was great synergy coming out from TLPH, of course. Great to see. And even for Sanford to jump in with a flicker, gets the knockups there with the Earth Shatter, multiple members, but still, they do go in a little bit too far. They get punished a little bit, slightly. Smart Omega still has a lot of ground to cover, though. Knowing that Zaida is now back up, full force, it looks like Smart Omega, despite being down 6,000 gold, they're confident enough to sit up here in the front and face off against TLPH. The problem is JP, just with a little, showing, he's going to zone them out.
It's
I think they just want to find it out.
It's a good conceal play from JP, but the missile experts are here. Unstoppable force as Zaida gets the Lord. JP is going to fall down, but here comes Sanford with a Primal Wrath. Chakno is the next man down. Wants to go right after Ryota. He has to flicker away. 3 members are left, and Sanji finishes off Ryota.
Andoru.
Oh, look at this. Andoru still not done, but Sanford with the onward combination. Almost. But TLPH, Zaida secures the Lord.
Almost, and it makes me just wonder, what if the beginning of the game was different here for Smart Omega? What if Andoru wasn't this far behind in terms of even itemization on a Fanny pick like this? You know, he's been trying to find what he can. Here it is.
Going right after Sanji. Wants to force out the Dominators to see with the flicker, and it's not going to connect to anyone. Chaknu used the Guardian's Barrier.
Chaknu!
Oh! Chaknu got erased in the map! And now the base of Omega is exposed.
Yeah, that just... I mean, it looked like that was already a successful defense. Chaknu was playing pretty up front. He didn't have the Numinum Blast anymore, so, I almost think that maybe he didn't have to go down, but ultimately it's the same thing. That mid turret in Smart Omega's base is going to go down. The shield is going to pop here on the bottom side. And they're still 10,000 gold behind. It's a massive deficit they have to work for. And Andoru, at this point, there's not really anyone that he can just assassinate. That's the thing. That's the difficult part here. Looking at the damage profile, the damage dealt as well, this is tough. Jome not felt like at all on the Moskov this time around. Very small damage done. And that's what the thing. Look at his items. He's got a cross-side golden staff. Doesn't have DHS yet. Had to get some defensive as well because of the pressure that they're feeling. So that's what I'm saying. I think they still need to buy at least a few minutes here.
And it's all JP's fault.
That's right.
Because the first 2 deaths of Jome was a rotation from TLPH, specifically from JP, targeting Jome, giving BennyQt the space he needs to farm up and dominate the gold lane. And look at TLPH, 10.7k gold lead, just TPing in the middle lane.
Yeah, Sanford's feeling pretty good. You know, it's him and JP. They're just finding the marks when they need to. Whether that's again, either if both of them use a flicker or not, they're always a threat. And that's what they play around with. This, meanwhile, BennyQt's had the time of his life on this carry in this game too, where he's really just been taking it to town, farming up, you know, doing his thing. And at this point, Smart Omega's still trying to just scrape up what they can in the base. There's not much else they can do. And part of this as well is, you know, Ukir picking up this Jushin pick. They have 2 Radiant Armors for TLPH, and that's why you don't really see too much. Like, you want to be able to utilize the utility of the Beacon, the Flare, bringing them back and everything else. But, like, they're just so tanky, and they're so far ahead that you don't really feel that damage from a utility mage.
Yeah, and even JP and Sanford, they're not necessarily, you know, manning the front line. It's always a quick conceal or a quick flicker
play,
in play. So there's not enough time for them to actually, for Ukir to actually have the stacks to use the Lantern Flare.
Here's the split push you were talking about. Something that Andoro can continue to do, but to at what cost, at what point? And even at this point, you know, he's probably, unless he goes and grabs his purple buff now, he's going to continue to feel it just stolen from him. For TLPH, massive lead.
Okay. Earth Shatter Flicker combination. Zaida on the chase onto Andoryu, but manages to escape. That was another close one for Omega.
Remember when I asked, when we went in this game, about the Fanny, if you don't get that momentum you're looking for, what can you do? The JP, again, concealed plays are going to be here. They're going to push it in.
Okay, they have to deal with the Lord plus the 5 members of TLPH. Earth Shatter combination from Sanford is here. Ryota manages to catch Daytona's welcome. But look at that, Dominator's Descent will be casted as well as the Primal Wrath. Chaknu dishing out the Guardian's Barrier. Oh no! Chaknu's the first man down as well as Andoryu. Jome has to walk away as TLPH works on the crystal. A triple for Zaida and a sweep for TLPH.
And you can hear it once again. Let's go Liquid. The crowd erupts. It's a sweep here against Smart Omega. Tough game for them, tough match. The TLPH, very promising, even with that little change up they had, of course, bringing in Zaida to this one, looking great as ever. Very momentum-based, too. I mean, just a massive game, too, for them. Nearly 11,000 at one point ahead of Smart Omega.
Yeah. Made quick work up against Omega. Zaida showing that he can fill the shoes of Carl TZ so far. 2 games, 2 links, 2 wins. And man, we have to give a lot of credit as well to Sanford.
Yeah.
The Earth Shatter plus JP's plays.
JP, time and time again.
JP, it's really all your fault. I mean, even if Sanford was the last man to set up, it was JP.
Found here, Smart Omega, everything else that they have here, and they show hear from them and Mara. That's going to be it for me, Nice Su and Ingon. Let's.
Congratulations to TLPH! It's so nice to see you back on the MPL stage. Anong pakiramdam? Welcome back!
Masaya po ako na nakapaglaro kayo. maganda po yung pinakita ng team namin.
Masaya din kami that you're back in action. Ito naman, Sanford, ikaw naman. Alam mo, yung nangyayari ngayon, you guys had 2 losses, 1 win, and then a loss again. Hindi kami sanay sa up, down. What did you guys have to face and how did you guys fix it to go back to your winning ways?
Siguro sa hero pool lang po namin na kinukulang po kami sa draft and ayun, ginawan po namin ng paraan last week so buti naman nagawa ng paraan.
It's been a while. Actually, it's been tumatawa kayo. It's been a while since nakita na witness namin na lose. You guys had 2 matches lose streak. It's been a while since we saw that. Kasi alam naman natin nag-dominate kayo even in the world stage. So pag mga ganun yung mga nangyayari, hindi ba, paano ba? Ano ba nangyayari sa mindset nyo? Kasi that's something that we're all not used to.
Yung inisip po namin normal lang po yun kasi may mga teams po na lumalakas and yun yung parang sign na hindi kami dapat magpabaya and mas mag-improve pa po kami.
And it's so nice that you guys are back in your winning ways with a sweep. And now it's time to announce our MVP. Let me hear some names. Parang unanimous. Sino? galing ah! Sino? Let's take a look at the screen. Kasalanan ni... JP! Congratulations! Uy, MVP! Alam ko mahiyain ka, pero tinan mo, yung mga cavalry natin dito, todo suporta sa inyo. Full house tayo ngayon. Anong gusto mong sabihin sa kanila?
Ayun, thank you sa pag-support kahit natatalo na kami. Sana supportahan niyo pa rin kami.
But now, sweep congratulations! At congratulations din sa ating lucky winner na mananalo ng 3,000 diamonds! Come on up! Ito na ang ating lucky fan of the day. Hello! Para kang nagmo-model, paakyat dito. Uy, may appear. Magkakilala ba kayo? Magkakilala ba kayo? Nag-appear kayo eh.
Di naman po, pero lagi lang po kami nagkikita sa MPL.
Lagi kayo nagkikita sa MPL kasi lagi kang nanonood ng MPL.
Yes po.
Okay, sinong favorite player mo dito?
Si Benny Cutie po.
Si Benny Cutie. Bakit hindi mo inaperan si Benny Cutie?
Hindi nag-grease ng hand.
Hindi ka daw nag-raise ng hand. Oh, appear. Oh, Benny Cutie. Tabi kayo. Bakit si Benny Cutie?
Gusto ko po kasi yung attitude niya pagdating sa game. Then yung ano yung personal
Fnatic Onic still undefeated in week number 4.
7-0, a perfect first half, followed by Falcons, AP.Bren, and Aurora, who stay the course at 5 points, followed up by Team Liquid, who, oh, look at that, are at the same spot as Smart Omega. Rockhart literally... Oh, look at that. Are at the same spot as Smart Omega. Rockhart literally the same.
They're tied for 4th.
Interesting. The way
Oh
that
my goodness.
the way that the point system works now is it's so easy to see. About
What's that?
63 towers.
Tar.
Four, they're dead, meaning patay.
Patay, dead,
4
dead,
about,
dead. Yeah.
they're dead. And 1, woo!
I guess that's kind of like a war cry or to rally your teammates,
Yeah.
right?
There's something primal and just relieving about a good
Woo! You can say that again. Probably a sigh of relief with what happened there. It was
Sure.
still a very intense match.
And of course the dub. The fact that they won after, back-to-back losses.
That's right. And for our week 4-day free stands of our Infinix Fancy Laban, this is going to be pretty cool. Phoenix Army is leading with 5 points. Man, the Phoenix Army has been on a roll recently in terms of Fancy Laban.
That's right. Today, there was action between the Bees up against the Sonics, and then the Kabarangays versus the Cavaliers. And yeah, the Sonics and the Cavaliers won. Hey, doesn't that mirror real life?
It does.
Right?
Oh my goodness, all right. So the fans' energy is definitely like kind of transferring over to the teams
Today specifically, but
Huh.
on a larger scale, like the big picture.
In general,
I'm
yeah.
happy to see at least the Phoenix Army doing well. Like, Phoenix Army, keep kicking butt.
Yeah.
I mean that also in the second half. Like, even for TNC and Blacklist specifically.
Yeah, I hope some of that kind of just boils over as well. Because right now they need all the preparations they can get coming in this week. And again, in one of the most competitive MLBB regions in the whole world.
V,
literally.
most competitive and strongest region in the world.
There you go. So you need everything you can get. And yeah, for now, it's going to be it. Week number 4. The first half has been a bit of a roller coaster. I don't know if you guys, your predictions are correct, but it's been through the roof.
Done and dusted. Wow, just like that. Bittersweet. I'm happy that we're closer to the playoffs, closer to another M series, but wow, like 4 weeks like that.
Passed by, man. Passed by. And yeah, for sure, we will definitely watch a lot of these teams maybe change up over the week.
Oh, yeah.
Some new picks, some
Dude,
new picks they need to prepare
At this
for.
point, halfway through Season 14, new picks are still coming through. So who's to say? And it's been a while since a patch.
That's right. So what about you guys? Who do you think is possibly going to come out in week number 5? Maybe patch-wise, item-wise, rank game-wise, who knows? Stuff can go crazy here in MPL PH. So let us know that in comments. But now, that's going to be it for me. I'm Rockhart. This is Leo.
For sure.
I'm not Leo. I'll see you guys soon. But for now, throw it over to Mara. Close out.
Ends the first half of a regular season. It's been a wild month for us witnessing the non-stop action. And next week, second round na ng ating MPL Philippines Season 14. Kaya dapat abangan natin yan because you never know what will happen. So kita-kits muli tayo for another round of intense action and non-stop moments. Dito lang yan sa MPL Arena. Once again, ako po si Mara Aquino. Keep it good vibes, everybody, and see you week 5.
The 14th season of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Smart, the official telco partner of MPL Philippines Season 14. The official tournament phone of MPL Philippines, Infinix GT20 Pro. Official suppliers, EMC Asia and Index Salon. Experience the MPL PH Season 14 action live at Green Sun, Makati City. Grab your tickets now via official MPL PH website. Don't miss any MPL action by following our official Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH on TikTok for more content. And to ensure the equality and fairness of our games, MPL Philippines is also monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusements Board.
Lakas ng Pinas!